So in previous tutorials we had a look at the Rubik's Cube. Obviously I've had to remake that for Blender 2.81, and what you see on the screen is just an example of the sort of thing you can make if you complete this video and then the extension video afterwards. So now we know what we're trying to create, let's see how we get there. First things first is it's really important when you're creating something like this to have a reference image, because this is a real life object. So let's get a reference image into the scene so we can see what it's supposed to look like. And to do that, I click on Add, Image, Reference. Now it's going to bring up this file viewer, make it large, and we need to go to Student Share and scroll down to Blender Resources, and then Reference Images and Renders. Now you can see I've got one in here called Rubik's Cube, and some of these others are for different tutorials that I've been making. And there we go, it's actually put a picture of a Rubik's Cube in. Now no matter which way, if I spin around, you'll see the side of it. So it's pretty much put a plane in with an image on. Now I'm going to grab it and move it off on the y-axis a little bit because we don't need it right there. So there we go, that is what we're trying to make. First things first, we're going to have something for it to sit on. Really easy thing to start with. So we're going to add a plane. And we're going to scale it nice and big. And then we are going to take our cube, GY, let's move it, sorry, GZ even, and we're going to move it up. If I just go a 5 and 1 to the side, click on the plane, and then we'll see we're nice and neat there, just maybe a tiny bit lower. So grab Z and left click. So now we're nice and neat. This is the sort of thing you've done before in the previous tutorial. So, how do we turn this boring little cube into a Rubik's Cube? Well, we're going to start using some of the tools which actually make our life a lot easier. And the first tool we can use, let's just make this higher, is we're going to make one of these little cubes in the corner and make it nice and curved edges. So, I select the cube and I go to this little tool option here, and I'm going to add Modify and Bevel. Now you see bevel actually creates curves on the edges automatically. But it's only done one segment. You see it's got segments here. It's done one segment. So I'm going to move this up to 2, and it's going to smooth it out a bit more. And to make it even smoother, I'm going to go to Object and Shade Smooth. So now it looks like one segment of our Rubik's Cube. So what do we do now? How do we get it to be 3 that way, 3 that way, 3 up? We could copy and paste these or make new ones, but actually that's wasting our time. We can use another modifier, and we can use one called the array modifier. Now array pretty much just makes copies. Here we go, we've got 2 copies of the object, but I don't want 2 because it's 3 by 3, so let's go to 3. And that's done 3 in that direction, which is the X direction. We want it to go 3 copies in the Y direction as well. So we add modifier and array, goes right down to the bottom, and we've got one that says 3, change it to 2, and instead of having the 1 in the X, we put 1 in the Y. Perfect. Now we need to go 3 up, and up is the Z axis. So array again, right down to the bottom, 0 in the X and 1 in the Z, and there we go. We've now got our Rubik's Cube. I'm just going to move our light up this because it's right in the middle where we're working. And let's put it into our viewport shading mode to see how this looks. Now at the moment it's a bit grey. Even with the light on the scene, it's a bit grey and dull. So let's find a better material. So click on the Rubik's Cube, go to Materials, and let's make this a nice black colour. Let's turn the roughness down a bit, something like 0.2, and the specular up to 1. So it's nice and shiny, it reflects the light. You can see just like these bits, you've got the little corner points where the light bounces off. So there we go, that is our basic Rubik's Cube. Now what we're going to do to finish off the first part of the tutorial is to put some stickers on the side. So I'm going to click the 3D cursor, click on the side of here, and then I'm going to add a cube. Now you may think, well, that's a big sticker there, but what I'm going to do is I need to scale it on the x-axis, if that's the correct axis for you, might be the y, make it nice and thin. I might go in a bit closer, scale on the x-axis again to make it nice and thin. So you push it towards the 3D cursor, like that. And then I'm going to scale it on no particular direction, just make it smaller all over. So that's there. It's a bit square at the moment. We'll deal with that in a minute. We need to make sure it's in the right position. So I click 5 to go into orthographic again, and 3, if that's the correct one, to go on the side. And I'm going to grab it and move it on the y-axis at this time. And then grab Z, and there we go. Nice and neatly in the middle. What do we do with this? Well, we can duplicate this, so Shift and D duplicates it, go along the y-axis and select another one. We could do that, which would work, and we could end up with a bit of inconsistency because not every sticker is perfect on here. But to get it like a really basic start, if we do our array again, so if I go to array, and we need to make sure the offset's in the right direction, so let's say 1 there, and 3 of them. You notice they're too close to each other, so what I can do is I can just adjust this slightly, too much, so 1.15 till we're pretty neatly in, maybe 1.16. So you adjust this so the stickers are perfectly in line. So we've got them going across that way, then we need to array again, and this time we need to do it on the z-axis. But if I put a positive number here, the stickers are going to go above, so actually it needs to be minus. And it should be exactly the same number I've done up here, so 1.16. Now yours will be different, because it depends on how you've actually scaled the stickers. So that's all those stickers. The last thing I'm going to do is, to make it nice and curvy on the edges, I'm going to add a bevel again. So do that, and 1, 2, and there we go with some nice stickers. Now you won't always need to do this, but I'm actually going to apply all of these modifiers. Okay, so I click on apply, apply, apply. So there we go, that is that one there. And I've got one set of stickers. Now I am going to duplicate this. So to duplicate it, Shift and D, and then go on the y-axis a little bit, and then rotate on the z-axis. So imagine sticking a spike straight down through it. And you can do this loose, but actually you're going to cause all sorts of issues if you do that. Type in 90, 90, and it's going to turn it exactly 90 degrees. And then all you need to do is go back to this view and move it in line. So G and Y for this view. So that was 5 and then 3, and then 5 and 1. You don't have to press 5 in between each time. So go on x-axis. Perfect. And then again, I'm going to duplicate. So Shift and D to duplicate. And then on the z-axis. Notice I'm not taking it up too high because the center point is this yellow bit. So when I rotate, it's going to rotate around this first sticker. So this time I rotate on the x-axis, 90 degrees. Obviously, if you're not sure, play around with your different axes. 7 is the top view, so I'll press 7 there. Go X, should be line X. Let's go Y then, and line it up like that. Perfect. So now we've nearly got 3 sets of stickers. Notice it's not perfect, so it's floating above. Let's go back to the front view, which is 3, or the right view is 3. And let's move it on the go Z, grab Z, and then drag it down. These are all just bits that we've done lots of times before. So I've taken that down too low now. Let's go right in here. So you've got to be really careful not to take it down too low, because otherwise you don't see it at all. And there we go. Yeah, that should be nice and neat. So you can go really, really carefully to get as much detail as you want. So there we go. We've got rather boring at the moment Rubik's Cube because it's not got any colours. I'll go back to selection and select these red ones here. Well, they're not red at the moment, but on our reference image they are. So let's go to the material one, new, and change it to red. Side ones here, that's on white already, that's fine. And this top one, new, and then let's make it blue. So there we go, we've got our Rubik's Cube. I'm going to put some nice reflective surface on the plane at the bottom, so I'm going to make it metallic with a bit of roughness, and I'm going to, as I've previously done, turn on screen space reflection, so we see a bit of reflection of the Rubik's Cube. And there we go. That is our Rubik's Cube. So obviously to render it, go inside the camera and go into fly mode, or walk mode technically. And there we go. So we can go render image, and it will create our Rubik's Cube as an image. You might want to go image, save as. You might want to change the lighting. I would suggest you do want to, because this is a little bit dull at the moment. But that is our basics on how to create a Rubik's Cube. In the next video, we're going to look at how to take this to the next level. It's an extension video, but some of you may find it useful to make it look just like I did at the start.